Hello, everyone. My name is Javed Iqbal. I'm Director of the Science Co-op programs at UBC. And this video is about work-term requirements and assignments. That is, things that you need to complete while on a co-op work term. This video will be divided into two parts. The first part is about work-term requirements, and the other part is about evaluation forms and work-term assignments. So let's get started. Now, before the start of your work term, you must ensure that you have received your offer letter and you have returned the signed offer letter, and any forms that were attached to that document, that email, have been returned to the employer. You should also make sure that you understand your start date and you have the company contact details. This will involve the email address and phone number of your work term supervisor and maybe also the HR person at that company. So make sure that you have those things as soon as you have received your offer letter. Now, the things to keep in mind. You should upload your offer letter in Scope, and you should do this as soon as you receive your offer letter. Second thing, update the work term record and site visit information, again in Scope, and this should be done the first week of your work term. So as soon as you start your job, the very first week, you should complete this information. You should need to complete the learning objectives, and this should be done first week of your work term. Complete the site visit form. This form needs to be completed at least a few days before the start of the site visit, and we will talk about that very shortly. And last, completing the work term requirements, and these are done at the end of the work term, and we will discuss all of these in the second video. All right, uploading the offer letters. All of the forms that you need to complete are in Scope. So click on the work term in your co-op sequence on Scope, and then upload a copy of your offer letter for each of the work term. So you can see that your offer letter box is right over here. Sometimes the offer letter is received by the co-op office, and when you are placed by the co-op staff in your work term, we upload that offer letter for your work term. So if you log in a bit later, you may find that the offer letter is already there, and that simply means the co-op office also received the offer letter. Okay. All right, let's move to the next part. That's the work term record and site visit information. Now, the work term record is about the name of your supervisor and their contact information, your work address, and other information that is needed. So the first thing that you need to do is when you start your job, to complete your supervisor information. Now, in many cases, it's very clear who is your supervisor. And this is the person who will not only supervise your work term, but they will also complete the student employee evaluation forms for you and will be there when we do the site visit. But sometimes that is not the case. And for example, take this scenario. You're working in a lab and your supervisor is the PI in the lab, but your direct supervisor may be a postdoc who will be helping you, monitoring, responsible for your day-to-day work. So the question is, who will be completing your evaluation at the end of the work term? Your PI or the postdoc, who is your direct supervisor? So if there is any confusion about it, please make sure that you discuss this with your PI as to who will be doing my evaluation at the end and who will be present for the site visit during the mid of the work term. And it should be the name of that supervisor who is responsible for that you need to enter. You also need to enter your work term location and other site visit details. And all of this information is quite clear, so I will not go into detail, but you can see that you can also access the work term record on the left-hand side of the table that you are currently seeing. Okay, all right. So make sure that you keep this information up to date. If at some stage this information changes, for example, if your supervisor, you have a new supervisor, or you change the team, in that case, please make sure that you go in scope and enter that information. Okay, learning objectives and the site visit form. Learning objectives are there to get you focused on your work term. It's also an opportunity for you to sit down with your work supervisor and discuss as to what you want to get out of that co-op work term, and also what are your supervisor's expectations from you. It's a good idea to get your learning objectives discussed with your supervisor at the start of the work term. Okay. Let's go to learning objectives questions. There are 2 questions in the learning objectives form. What skills are you hoping to gain by the end of the work term? Include technical and soft skills. And the second question is, what are your supervisor's goals and expectations for your work term? Now, when you are discussing your learning objectives with your supervisor, be broad. What do you want to get out of that co-op work term? Of course, you are there to learn some technical skills. These could be lab skills, this could be programming skills. You also want to develop your public speaking skills. You maybe also want to get a better understanding of that particular industry. Maybe you also want to make some connections in that field. So be broad, discuss all of those with your supervisor so that you can get maximum benefit out of your co-op work term. Also, pay attention to what your supervisor's goals and expectations are for your work term, because you will be responsible for meeting those goals and expectations. Let's go back to the site visits. Now, the site visits are conducted usually after first 6 weeks of a work term. So for example, if your work term starts in May, your site visits most probably will start, say, in the beginning of June or mid-June, and then the site visits continue on till the very end of the work term, because of course, we have lots of co-op students who are on a co-op work term, and it takes time to complete these site visits. The site visit is conducted by a coordinator, and it could be by Zoom, it could be by phone, or it could be an in-person site visit. Lately, because of COVID-19, the site visits mostly have been by Zoom or by phone. Now, make sure that you complete the site visit form at least a few days before the start of the work term. Your coordinator will review the form, go through it, understand what are you doing on your co-op work term. If there are any issues, any concerns, any problems that have been mentioned in the site visit, your supervisor will be aware of those and will make sure to discuss those with you and your supervisor. Now on that, I want to make sure that if there is an issue, a problem at the workplace, that you don't wait to let your coordinator know about it until the time of the site visit. Okay, so make sure if there's an issue that you let your supervisor, your coordinator know about that right away. Do not wait until the site visit is conducted. Okay. All right. Now, what is the purpose of site visits? It's an opportunity for your coordinator to discuss your performance and educational matters of your co-op work term with your supervisor and with you. What are you gaining out of this co-op work term? How is this co-op work term connected to your academic goals? It also is an opportunity for the coordinator to provide some feedback, identify the areas of strength, areas of improvement. It also helps us further strengthen the relationship with the employer, discuss additional points of mutual interest, assess your work-term environment. So it really is a quality control that we exercise. It's a quality control process that the site visit is a very important part of. How are you doing on the work term? Are there any issues? Are there any concerns? Are you learning new stuff? Are you performing well? How is the work term environment? So all of that is the important part of that. And usually the way the site visit is conducted, your coordinator will spend about 20 to 30 minutes with you and 15 to 20 minutes with your supervisor. Sometimes it may take less time because everything is running very smoothly. Everything is going totally fine. And sometimes it may take more time. So that time that is about approximate, okay? Now, here are the things that you need to keep in mind about site visit logistics. One site visit per 4-month work term. So, but if you are doing 2 consecutive work terms with the same employer, then you may or may not get a site visit for the second work term. So suppose you are doing 2 consecutive work terms starting in May to August, September to December. You will get a site visit in summer. And then depending upon whether you need a site visit or not, you may get a site visit in fall as well. Your coordinator will be in touch with you and will ask you, do you need a site visit for the second work term? Okay, so this is how it goes. Now, the co-op office will email you to schedule a site visit meeting. So make sure that you discuss with your supervisor that I will be having a site visit from my coordinator. Here are the possible dates or time, or would this date and time work for you? So discuss that and then get back to the co-op office whether the time that has been suggested would work for you and your supervisor, or does it need to be changed? Now, if the site visit is in person, then make sure that you provide a clear guidelines, or you provide clear instructions on how to access your office location. So for example, if there's a would the coordinator need to have security clearance to be able to see you? How would your coordinator access the building? Many of these buildings are locked. So make sure that you provide all that information to the co-op office so that the coordinator can come and see you for the site visits. Okay, all right. Now, the second part of this video is about Workterm assignments, and I am going to discuss in terms of what are the things that you need to complete for the Workterm, what type of forms are needed, when are they to be completed, and other things. So I'll see you for that video very shortly. Take care. Goodbye.